My name is Bill Cohen, and every year for the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, we put on a 1960s coffee house. It takes people back to that tumultuous decade, and we talk about all the things that happened in the 60s, very serious things, the Vietnam War, the anti-war protests, the student power movement, the civil rights demonstrations, the riots in the big cities, the political assassinations, the moon landing. And a lot of those events had folk songs that kind of punctuated and reflected those events. So we talk about all the events, and then we use the folk songs to kind of hammer home all those things that happened in the 60s. So it really takes people back to that era, and we do it in an old church basement, turn off all the lights, have candles on the tables. So it's kind of an intimate atmosphere that really brings people back to that old 1960s coffee house atmosphere. This is just a sample of the kind of thing that we display at the show. We have hundreds of political buttons that people wore. They wore their feelings on their sleeve or their shirt lapel, as you might say. People who are active in the civil rights movement or the anti-war movement or whatever, their favorite politicians. So we put those on display, and we got old newspapers and magazines from the era and some posters from the era. A lot of memorabilia just to bring people back to that decade. The kinds of songs we do are in the folk genre, because the folk music really did reflect a lot of the things that happened back then. The civil rights movement was fueled and energized by folk songs, Negro spirituals, that kind of thing. For instance, there's this song I think that really does reflect what was happening right around 1964, when there were civil rights workers actually dying for the cause of equal rights. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. And then, you know, there was the civil rights movement, then the anti-war movement started building up, and there were plenty of songs that reflected that. A lot of popular songs. Where have all the flowers gone? Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing, where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago, where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them every one. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? So there's just a couple of probably 15 songs that we do during the show, and there are songs that people do remember. So sometimes people out in the audience are singing and humming along. This year's show is at the King Avenue Methodist Church at the corner of King and Neal in Victorian Village. The address is 299 West King at Neal. There's plenty of free parking to the south and west of the church, and we do the show there in the church basement. There's no need to make reservations. There's no tickets ahead of time. Just show up, and hopefully we'll have room for you. Usually we have a couple hundred people or more at our shows, so get there early for a good seat. So the official time of the show is 7:30, Friday, November 16th, at the King Avenue Church. But again, we tell people get there early for a good seat around 7 o'clock. And we ask for $10 donations per person at the door, and hope that people will contribute to a very good cause. Food pantries like the one we're at today. The proceeds go to the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, and of course it's the Mid-Ohio Food Bank that supplies dozens of local food pantries with their emergency food supplies. So we hope everybody will come out, support a good cause, and kind of revive and go back to some 1960s memories. Some of them bitter, some of them sweet. Overall, I'd say bittersweet. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday.